How we doing, everyone? Welcome back to another edition of FSI's NASCAR DFS Pick Show. I'm your host, TK Nation 47, joined with Mega Roller 31. Mega, welcome back, or should I say, welcome back, TK, to the video and podcast. Sorry I was out yesterday. Could not keep the eyes open, so that one's on me, everyone out there. I was working hard this week and couldn't keep up. And Mega, thank you for covering for the Xfinity video on Thursday night and then the truck video yesterday. So well done on both. I wish the slate turned out better, not to the fault of us, but just variance kind of got to us. Todd Bodine in the truck race. I had a couple of mistakes in the Xfinity personally, but I mean, you want to tell us what we learned?
What we learned is for all the times that Ty Gibbs and Noah Gragson have wrecked people, they couldn't wreck each other to salvage my lineup. Because if they took each other out, then Allgaier probably would have had a chance to climb back up there. Barry, I had in my cash lineup, he would have been leading the race. It would have been
Yeah.
a much better situation. I avoided the wrecks, but it was just I didn't have, you know, him, and with Allgaier following back and losing points, I just like fell out of cash. Like I was like right below the line for the whole thing. So like I
Yeah.
thought my lineup was decent. I felt really good about like it. So, but oh well.
Yep. Couldn't get a value play to work on either slate today. So big losses today. Got to be, transparent with our losses. Took a
We
big
want our
hit.
money back.
Man, I'm gonna need a big slate today with the cup to win some money back. So um I'm glad to be talking through it. This always helps my process. I feel like not being able to talk through it with you kind of hindered my decision making when it came time. So let's hope this gets us back on the winning track. So let's talk about Pocono. We only have 3 turns. I'm sure you've delved into the odd track that is Pocono. We are in PA, Pennsylvania. This is your neck of the woods, so we're going to need you to nail it, sir.
About
Only
45 minutes away from me.
Yep, only 160 laps, but it is 400 miles. This is a long track, so this is going to be a decently long race. The M&M'S Fan Appreciation 400. I thought that was a really cool title. We don't talk too much titles like we used to, but I like that one. So, um,
Well, let's talk about Mars exiting NASCAR because of Kyle Busch.
yeah,
Yeah, that could. This might be the last hurrah for them, but I hope not. I've enjoyed seeing them. A sponsor, Elliott Sadler,
yep. Elliott Sadler came to mind. Yep,
yeah, way back in the day. So
yeah. Well, is there anything we want to talk about with strategy with Pocono before we get into picks?
I think, like you said, there's not that many laps. So like fast laps and dominating points. It's not a short track, so there'll be some, but I don't think somebody's gonna like dominate this whole race, especially with this car. It's obviously very hard to drive. We saw many people spin out in qualifying and practice. I don't
Yeah.
think they figured out the tires.
No.
There is supposed to be pop-up thunderstorms, I think, tomorrow.
Could get a
And they
competition
put resin
caution.
on the track, so you can pretty much drive wherever you want to and have grip. So there's like 4 grooves now instead of just like 1 or 2, like in past years. So
Yeah,
that's
you would
kind
hug the bottom on this track all the time. It was hugging the bottom in the hairpin turn. And then on the straightaways, it was trying to get into clean air, to try to catch up with the car in front of you, and then you would try to make up lap times on the corners. So with, like you said, the PJ1 that's laid down on the track, you can kind of drive wherever you want, make up the time that you need. And with the incoming thunderstorms, there's a good possibility we get competition cautions. Um, so yeah, there's going to be many different factors. I think there one more tech that they have to pass before we get to the
of.
is
I'm
there
not sure. No, they already had a lot of issues here, so it doesn't look that bad. TK. It only looks like it's going to be a 20% chance of rain and like
well,
87 degrees. But
this is Long Pond, PA we're talking about.
I know. I'm well aware. But it's not Daytona. It's not Atlanta. I mean, like we do have pop-up thunderstorms in Pennsylvania, but they tend to be more like in the evening.
Okay,
That we have them here than in the late afternoon, like some of the southern states do. So
fair enough. All right, good insight. All right, let's get into the picks. Denny Hamlin on the pole, 10-4. Going to be chalky.
yeah, he's really good at this track, and again, we can probably should throw out track history just due to the new
Yeah.
cars, but actually, this is a very skilled track, and I think you need good cars and you need good drivers for it. So I'm really think that Hamlin, like you said, is going to be popular. The Toyotas have been fast here, faster than some of the other cars. So, which is weird because, like I said last week, like it seems like the Toyotas and the Gibbs they focus on tracks that are going to be in the playoffs, and this is not a playoffs track. And
Mm-mm.
it's really hard to find a comparison, as I said in the other videos, because the old one used to be Indianapolis, but they don't do the Brickyard anymore. They do the stupid road course there, the fake road
Which is
course.
next week.
Yeah, yeah, where we had like the Dukes of Hazzard like generally launching ramp last year, if you remember,
Yep.
where they
The
broke the
whole thing
curb and
came
everybody
up
just
and
went flying over
yep,
it.
wrecked half the field.
Yeah, and Michigan, but we haven't had Michigan yet this year in this new car, so I think like Nashville and Auto Club are the closest things to compare it to. But I think it be interesting because Hamlin's been up and down this year, and can he stay out there and dominate? We'll see. But
He
I
really
think,
hasn't at
yeah,
all this year.
I think you can play him in cash, but he's definitely not my favorite play up here.
I personally don't like him for cash. I think for GPPs, if you think, Clean Air is going to dominate this race, and believe it or not, in this, with this Goodyear tire, we've seen Clean Air be you know, a harmful thing to a tire on a left rear. But I don't know. I think he's not a cash play. I think there are better options because I don't think he'll dominate the race. And I think once Denny loses that clean air, he's going to go backwards. It's happened all year. He hasn't ran well. His average running position is not well. The race that he did win, he came from all the way in the back on a good pit strategy with fresher tires, and he just outdueled Harvick down the stretch to win. I don't think he dominated that race, and I think they just nailed it on, the crew chief just kind of nailed it. And for once, Denny didn't have any pit road issues, which he's had plenty of this year. So I don't think you can trust him on the pole. That's why I don't think he's a cash option. Kyle Busch, here starting on the outside, 10-6. I think you probably going to say it best, so I'll let you go ahead and say it.
I don't know. After last week, I can't trust him really as a race car driver anymore. How many times did he spin out with like
Three
nobody?
times in a
It's
row, I think.
like the turf monster got him or something. It's like those running backs that run down the field and just fall flat
And
on their
nobody hit
face.
him.
I
Nobody hit
know.
him.
No, like, he's really struggling to control this car. So he's always a GPP for me, no matter how good of situation is. Yes, they had practice, and that really helps him. And he obviously had
Yeah.
speed, and the Toyotas are good, and like everything's pointing, the stars are aligning. Like for
Two
him to
two
go out
race
and lead all
wins.
160
Mhm.
laps here and dominate this race, but I don't care. I'm not playing him in cash.
Yeah. So with the old car, Denny Hamlin and Kyle Busch are the two drivers that have won the most at this race since 2019. Both have won twice in 6 races. Denny has 4 top 5s, and so does Kyle Busch. They're the only two drivers to lead over 100 laps. So I know they're going to be fairly high owned based on that track history. I could even see people trying to go with both of them in their lineup. I don't think that those rules apply with the next gen car. I think
But we
if you
just
get,
saw a couple
yeah,
weeks ago Chastain and Elliott starting 1 and 2 and being in the ultimate lineup that won the GPP. So it's not out of the question.
sure. And I think you can build to that. And I think both will be in my player pool. But I don't know where I'm going to go if I have like a high dollar situation with a, high dollar contest entry. If I'm going to try to fade that chalk and then just try to nail it with the next pick, and that is Chase Elliott. We both agree. This is our favorite play up here in the top 5.
Yeah, he's been in great form recently. He looked good in practice, top 10 in practice speed, and probably one of the best in like long run speed in
Yeah,
practice. With had very little fall off, and that's where you really want. If there's gonna, I mean, there were a couple wrecks in here, but there weren't that many yellow flags, like maybe 4 or 5. So I think if you see a lot of laps there, like and you saw cars just start to pull away, and I
yeah,
can see him like get out there and get out front and just completely like pull away. Like wasn't a couple races ago, like he just like pulled away from the whole field, and then some stuff happened on like pit road or something, and that seems to be his Achilles heel. Is like sometimes on pit road. I mean, I remember he came on the radio. I think it was earlier in the season and said, "How many more times are you guys gonna?" We'll say screw me because it's a family show. This year.
yeah. That might have been Road America where he was just dominating that course, and then at the end there they had a bad pit stop. I think Tyler Reddick was able to come back and win. Um, I think that's the case. Chase Elliott in 6 races only has 2 top 5s. So basically, what we're betting on is we're betting on recent form in the next gen car over course and track history. Course, listen to me, golf guy. Track history with Kyle Busch and Denny Hamlin. So we're going next gen statistics over um, track history here. And I think I don't know if Chase Elliott's going to be high owned. I think more of it's going to be on Denny and Kyle Busch. But, you know, chalk could be
Yeah,
25 plus, and he definitely will be 25 plus.
I think he's gonna be like 30% still,
Yeah.
but we'll see.
We'll still be different if we don't have Denny or Kyle Busch, though.
Correct, correct, correct.
So if we just pick Chase and then we start proceeding down the line here with our picks, you'll see the kind of construction that we're looking towards. Kyle Larson, this is
He's
crazy.
he's
Not a
got
good year.
the worst hangover from. I mean, but Chase
Ooh,
did the same thing last year. Like
true.
he won the title in 2020, and he was just couldn't win anything that was like not a road course.
Yeah, he was blah.
Yeah. So and I think Larson's the same thing. He really struggles with this new car and the tires, especially. Like as much as like Bush is like spun out and stuff, he and Bubba have a love hate relationship with this tire.
Yeah, they use him up quick, and they can't get around anybody because they're using them tires so much that they may not break them, they might not bust, they might not spin out, but
Oh, they do a lot though. He does.
well, yeah, but I'm saying when they don't, they still can't use them to
Right.
their, advantage. So GPP for me for
Yep.
sure. Chris Buescher, the only surprise here, I'd say in the top 10.
Yeah, I have him as a
He's been
fade.
qualifying really well.
Yeah, I know he has, and it would have surprised me if he stayed in the top 5 and finished the race here. Absolutely not, but I just in cash I
Yeah,
can't do it, and I look at his qualifying speed, and I just wonder if they set up the car for um, just for qualifying more than like long run speed, so that just tells me he might just drop right back. Like if his practice speed was like top 10, I would consider it like more for GPP, but I
yeah.
just can't do it. Too far forward.
Same. He's going to be a fade for me. If Chris Buescher beats me from the 5th spot, Chris Buescher beats me from the 5th spot. Ryan Blaney, 9,400, not so well in practice. And when it comes to track history, I'm not blown away. Recent form, hit or
Horrible.
miss.
Yeah. Like he
Yeah.
just I thought like I had him in my cash lineups and went heavy on him. I like was really believing in him. I think I even maybe we put him on the cover last week. I can't remember, but I was high on him and he just like disappointed. It
Yeah, we
was like
loved him in Atlanta.
like a 12th place car the whole time. So
Mhm.
yeah, I just I think he's a GPP.
Yeah. He'll be in like the 150 mini max
Yeah.
entries, but yeah, not going to be much outside of that for me from Ryan Blaney. Bubba Wallace, 7,500. I keep wanting to make this work, but I feel like every time I do, I get burned. So I'm just going to be hesitant with Bubba, and I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, I think you play Bubba if he starts like 15th or below,
Yeah.
unless it's like a track that he absolutely loves or something like that, or a super speedway.
Did he win here in Xfinity when he was in Xfinity?
Maybe I don't know. The one
Uh,
thing that the only thing I can say about Bubba Wallace this week, and we haven't talked about this yet, you and I, is that his car popped out of Wrigley Field, and apparently next year they're on Fourth of July weekend. They're racing through the streets of Chicago. Did you see that?
I did.
Yeah,
They took down Road America from the schedule and they put in Chicago Street.
that will be interesting. I hope they fix all the
So,
potholes and everything.
I was gonna say
They're
that's
cruising down like I don't know what the
quite questionable.
I-95 or whatever. I-95 does it goes up the East Coast, so I know that's not the one. I don't know what
You
freeways are in
talking about like
Chicago, but
I-75?
sure, we'll say that.
I
But
don't
yeah,
know.
yeah.
That's
Can you
actually
imagine
that's
like the
Ohio.
NASCARs like on the like everybody park their car on the side of the interstate and like all the NASCARs are driving.
Yeah, Route 66.
Yeah, yeah. They'll be at like Radiator Springs, like in the Cars movie.
Uh, I don't know. I don't know what to do with Bubba.
I think he's a GPP play. He like his practice time. Here's what I like. If like we said like with Blaney and Busher, like he was top 12. He looked decent. The Toyotas have been fast, so there's a
Sure.
lot of things pointing in the right direction here.
Toyotas have
But I
been
think it's
fast.
risky playing him in cash.
I wonder if Toyota's just had good single lap speed. I wonder what's going to happen with their fall off and if maybe the Chevys are going to be better on the long run.
Possibly.
Yep. You can build lineups that way. I'd say if you wanted to do some manufacturing stacks tomorrow, I think that'd be a decent idea. Maybe you want to build some short run Toyota um, finishing position, um, lineups and then some Chevrolet long run, finishing position and place differential lineups. I don't know. I mean, you can go down those roads. Martin Truex Jr. 10-3. I'm not sold.
No,
If he
it's
couldn't
gonna
get
be
it done
hot.
last week, then
It, it's gonna be hot, and he's good at tracks when it's hot. But I just he's been getting better. But again, I think he's just kind of going through the motions. He's gonna make it to the playoffs, and then that's when he turns it on. That's when I'm playing Truex. I mean, and he was like leading and doing well
he
last
dominated
week,
last
and I
week.
thought that he was actually going to potentially win it.
Still
But
couldn't.
like, yeah,
I don't like that confidence. I don't think he has the dominant car that he did
no,
last week.
no.
So if he's struggling to win races and he doesn't have the dominant car, then it's going to be a GPP to probably like low ownership GPP. Daniel Suarez, I alluded to him earlier and I kind of think before the show we were talking a little bit of construction. I don't mind Suarez here. I like him in GPPs.
Yeah, I couldn't play him in cash, but he's top three in speed. He's been fast. This Trackhouse cars have been fast all year long.
I,
So
I like the Chevys tomorrow. I
yeah,
think I might be heavy on the Chevys.
yeah, I like the price and everything. Just can't pull
Mhm.
the trigger in cash, but I think it'll be quite popular.
Yeah, I don't mind that. I think Suarez is going to be a big part of my day tomorrow. Kurt Busch, tell the story.
Uh, Blazing fast in practice, wrecked in qualifying, so he's going to start at the back, which it's hard to pass here. So I mean that's going to make it very difficult. Plus
Yep.
he's in the backup car, and we don't know if the backup car is going to be as fast as the original one was. So that's why I have him in red here. He's a fade for me. I think he'll get some ownership here, but I feel bad about the situation. I just can't do it.
8,500. I don't think it's worth risking it. I rather play the next guy, Christopher Bell at 8,900. I think he makes for one of the strongest plays on the slate. I like him in cash.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be the forgotten
Good.
Gibbs car. Originally, we
Good.
focus on Hamlin and Bush and maybe Truex, and I think he's like the step brother. But he won last week, right?
Christopher Bell. Why don't I know that off the top of my head? Yes, he did.
Yeah. So, and he was second fastest in practice here. So, yeah, everything points in the right direction. Wish he was starting a little bit further down, but I think he's got definitely place differential upside here. Probably a top five car, and he could potentially win this one again. So, wouldn't surprise me at all. So, yeah, I like it. He's not currently in my cash lineup, but as we talked before the show, I might try to work him in.
Yep. If I can fit him comfortably and feel good about the lineup, I'm going to. Take note, he is 3-0 at New Hampshire. In three starts, he's won three times.
Wow.
Yeah, through Xfinity and into Cup now. So note that for next year. Next up, we have Eric Almirola and Chase Briscoe. I know they're not the same price tag, but just throw them in there. They're both Stuart Haas. Talk about them for a minute.
Yeah, Stuart Haas just hasn't had the speed. It's like, besides Harvick, like Almirola is better on like tracks like New Hampshire and things like
Yeah,
that. So
it's a no. It's a pass for me.
yeah, 27th. So he's a fade. Briscoe, like this again, this is a technical track with like shifting and things like that. So he's usually pretty good at that. I just wish he was on a different team. I wish he spent like one more year in Xfinity and
Yep.
didn't come up like last year with I wish he ended up in like a different ride. So
Be nice to see him in like one of the track house cars.
exactly, that's what I was thinking. Like, if he would have gotten it, or I mean, Trackhouse has three cars. They're doing that whole diversity initiative car. I haven't seen it like registered
Yeah,
to race yet. Maybe they're waiting for 23 for that. But
right.
obviously, if they can support more cars, there's some of these young drivers on some of these dinosaur teams that are just not as competitive anymore. Like, Roush Fenway's not what they used to be. Stuart Haas isn't what they used to be.
Yeah.
So, but
Maybe when Tyler Reddick goes to 23-11, Chase Briscoe gets a call from Childress.
yeah, but I still think that seat's being held for Sheldon Creed or Austin Hill.
Probably Sheldon Creed.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Hill's been decent too, so we'll see.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Um,
They'll probably get rid of Dillon and just take both of them. I mean, they brought both of them up at the
they'll
same time.
never get rid of Austin Dillon. He just got a new TV show. That matters, dude.
They're racing cars. We don't care about TV.
Yes, you do. You
Okay.
gotta if you have this is dude, this is a sport where all the publicity is good publicity. And Austin Dillon has a TV show on TNT. He ain't going anywhere. Um
Yeah, he's not going anywhere in a car. Okay. Anyways,
Chase Briscoe's a GPP.
yeah.
Joey Logano, Team Penske, 96. Man, I just haven't had the urge to play Joey Logano in
I
any
know.
way.
I flirted like he's like
He's
kind of
quiet.
between GPP and Cash. He's just the first league he was horrible with this new car. Wrecked, I think, in three of the first four races. But
Everybody won the Bush Clash.
yeah, but after that, like he's been okay. So he's a
I just
veteran.
haven't heard his name
He knows the
since.
track. It's good. It's good equipment. He's qualified around where his practice speed is. So 96 isn't a bad price. So I don't. He's
Really? I think
no
it's a
man's land
terrible
for
price.
Cash. You're not going to be able to like probably fit him in, but he's a little bit down from like Hamlin and Bush, so it opens up like one of your other guys in your lineup. So it might be the difference between like Grayson and LaJoy and playing like um, Suarez or Bubba Wallace or somebody like that. So
I tell you this, I'd rather play Logano over Blaney this week because of the place differential. Um, but I wouldn't want to. I Bell is the perfect option,
yeah,
and then I might even consider Byron or even Harvick over Logano in that
okay.
9K range.
Again,
Yeah,
I said I don't hate him in Cash. I think he's got some floor, and that's what you're looking for. But
sure.
he's not like going to be slate breaker. I don't think, but we'll see.
Yeah, I doubt. I agree with you. I don't think he breaks his
But we
slate.
didn't think Noah Gragson was going to do decent today either. So
Yeah,
I guess that's why the race.
is raced. Austin Dillon. Speak of the devil, 7K.
GPP like this is where he usually starts. This is where around where he usually finishes. His
Yep,
practice time all lines up. Everything says Austin Dillon somewhere between 15 and 20 if he
like
even if we can
17th.
yeah.
Yeah,
So so if you got 7K left and you already have played like Stenhouse or Cindric or all these other guys that you might also want and you can't play them twice, then Austin Dillon, here you go.
sure. Tyler Reddick, 8,300. I like this play.
Yeah, especially with like the multiple grooves and having like a super high groove, which seemed to have a lot of carry a lot of momentum off the
Yeah.
turns. So
It's not good on the restarts, but certainly good
long run.
um on the long run. Running that outside with the PJ1 down. That is usually the Tyler Reddick tracks that we're looking at. His form's pretty good. One Road America, like I said earlier. Now we know he's going to 23-11. So, Childress had already said they're just going to focus on the playoffs with Reddick. They're not going to focus on the fact that he's leaving the company in 2 years. It's just a weird situation. But I don't think it hinders their performance levels, especially this year, if any year. So I don't mind Tyler Reddick's price tag. Alex Bowman, that was brutal last week. I mean, wow. What two laps in, we lose Bowman and our favorite value of the week. I can't remember which one it was, but
Blue
I just
Joy or
no, I think it
Ty
was
Dillon.
it Ty Dillon?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
Ty Dillon.
Yeah, like we lost him on like lap 2. So I'm feeling a little frustrated with that still, but I can't dismiss the fact that that's a really good price tag for a guy that's won here. One of those classic backing into a win moments for Alex Bowman. 8,100 practice speed was nice. I think teams, I think the 48 teams, sick of getting beat up on. They've been having a lot of bad weeks in a row. I think they have a decent week tomorrow.
Yeah. Yep.
Cash or
Yeah, I think he's cash. He's always got top 10 upside. He's the vanilla guy. He just
yeah.
blue collar comes and usually last week was the exception, but he just
Yeah.
usually shows up and does his job and gets results. So
Okay, so here we go. Reddick or Bowman? Single
obvious,
single entry.
single entry. Probably Raddick has more upside. But TK, I just plugged it in here, and you can play like a lineup of Reddick, Bowman, Byron, Stenhouse, and Chastain. It all fits, and then
Yeah.
just figure out who your last guy is. So, um,
Well, you'll just factor in the fact that not one person dominates the race.
yeah, and they're all in the mid range. They're all have floor. It's a very safe cash build. Just like picking, this is the meat of your order right here. Like
Sure.
picking guys from here. This is the heart. And I have Stenhouse as GPP, but I think he could probably be a cash play also. He's got some
Yeah,
place
you're
differential and stuff.
loving Stenhouse. Just go ahead and do it.
Yeah,
All right,
and look
William
at
Byron.
their practice speeds. Nobody like okay, Stenhouse is 19th, but all the rest of them here are like top 15 in practice speed. So
Yeah. All right, so William Byron 9,200.
now he's red. Do you know why he's red?
Fire away.
Took some damage in either qualifying or in practice. They're gonna fix the car.
Ooh.
So it's not a backup. They're just going to fix it so it's more aerodynamic. So he's going to start at the back. So it's just kind of a warning, but I think he's got enough.
His
He,
track history is pretty good.
yeah, and his crew chief is good at figuring out like
Alan
when to leave
Gustafson.
him out and stuff, and taking chances and rolling the dice. So I think they definitely get him back in a situation where he can move up. So if he avoids any chaos with all the bottom dwellers, and can survive that in the first couple of laps because we had a major wreck in Xfinity in like lap 5,
Yeah.
which is like 800 miles into the race because it's such a long track,
Yeah.
but still, it's pretty early on. So, but no, I still think Byron is a cash play, and I still think he could definitely get up into the top 10.
There you go. That's Mega's take. Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Austin Cindric. I personally like Austin Cindric, and I know you like Ricky Stenhouse. I understand where you want Stenhouse because of the price tag difference, and that could be the difference between Christopher Bell and Tyler Reddick in a 2v2 situation. That could be the difference between, William Byron and Chase Briscoe, or Chase Elliott and Ryan Blaney. So like I get it. Like you want some of that extra savings. I think Cindric does finish higher than Stenhouse though.
Oh, and I don't fault you there at all. I think, but I just Stenhouse he did get some extra laps, and even though he did have a pretty hard crash, that was not his fault. Um, so he did take a chance to run Xfinity this week to familiarize himself with the track. Again, it's not his same car, so it doesn't 100% translate, but it does kind of help you figure out like where the grooves and stuff are. So
Yeah. Um Austin Cindric finished, I believe, second in this race in the Xfinity Series last year. So I don't know, I
He
like him.
won.
He won?
Yeah,
What am I looking at?
yeah, because I looked it up because when I did the Xfinity video, uh,
Oh, you know what? I was
he
looking
won.
at the
Gibbs was
season.
second. So
All right, TK's on to something. He likes Cindric.
okay,
GPP it. Go
so
cash Ricky Stenhouse. Get your savings. Get the guy you want. Throw Cindric in some GPPs. He's a sleeping giant tomorrow. No, Ross Chastain. Yes.
prime play again. He took damage. He's going to fix his car, so he's going to be down there. But he's got the speed to just knife through this field, I think, and get up there. He was number one in practice speed, so they just want to get the car back to the correct aerodynamics and not have any risk of anything like flying off or anything from that damage. So it makes
Right.
sense. He's only moving back 15 spots, and I think it,
He'll get you
and
there.
maybe not even because of like the other people that are starting back there. So,
Yeah.
and who knows, like if other people make adjustments or like fail tech or something, there could be a whole bunch back there. So, he might start 30th. He's
Hmm.
still getting scored for him 21st, but I
Exactly.
think he's safe, and I really like him as a play.
Much different situation than Kurt Busch. So prime play for sure. Chastain gonna be mega chalk. All right, next up is Noah Gregson and Corey LaJoy, 56, 5,500.
I
Um,
think both of them.
yeah, GPP
People
and
look
fade.
at the Xfinity win and what LaJoy did a couple weeks ago, and I think that they look at that and get all excited and overplay them. I'm out on these guys. They're starting too far forward. If they beat me, they beat me. But I just I would rather have them start like in the 30s, probably like 10 spots down below, then I would play them. Pricing isn't bad. GPP not complete with fade, but I think they'll be over owned.
I have more interest in LaJoy over Gregson. Mainly because I've seen LaJoy be consistent. I know he hasn't been in the recent form, but in the long run, throughout the year, LaJoy's had some decent finishes, but they're still GPP to fade, nothing major. All right, Kevin Harvick, 9K.
Decent track history here. I know we can throw that out, but he knows the track. Stuart Haas hasn't had the speed, but I think with the place differential here, he struggled in practice, didn't qualify great, so but he's not a 24th place car. I think he's higher than that, so I think he can play him cash. And I think he's going to be pretty popular.
Three top fives in six races, one win. Obviously, that is in the old car, but Kevin Harvick starting 24th, 9K doesn't really break the bank. He's gonna have some ownership. I think I might be under owned to the field, but gonna have him in my player pool, especially this next guy, Michael McDowell, considered as one of the top value plays for us on the slate.
Yep, definitely. Really good form recently.
Yep.
It's a longer track and more suits his style. I think
Yep.
definitely 21st. So even if he's finished 25th, like he's still a decent
Yeah.
play here. So
Yeah, and I think he finishes like 16th through 19th. Pays off that 6,500 fees. Brad Keselowski, 7,300, needs to win
yeah,
to get
but
into the playoffs.
not here. GPP.
That's all else. That's all I'm going to say from here on out for Keselowski. Needs to win because it's the truth. And I think it's going to be perfect for a race like Daytona the week before the playoffs.
Right.
And that is where I'll target him. Ty Dillon, 42 car, Petty GMS, 5,800, wrecked. Five
He
laps in, he stinks.
Yeah, and he lost his crew chief. Both petty cars had
Nope.
some kind of unapproved thing on them where they were intaking too much air or something, and so they got penalized like 30 some points or something and lost their crew chiefs. So that's concerning for Ty Dillon.
Yep.
So
I would like him starting anywhere from 32 on back. He is not doing that. So those 5 points are going to be pretty detrimental to his final total. Harrison Burton, man, he is actually racing pretty good right now.
yeah, he's been better recently. So
I have
23rd
to
in
admit.
practice. So I think you can consider him down here. A little bit expensive. I think Haley is a little bit safer two down from him
Uh-huh.
at 61 with his
Agree.
form, but definitely if you need somebody, if you can't afford McDowell, he's if you have $200 more than Dylan, he's good here.
Yeah.
Gillian, I like also at 53. I think you have a nice savings there. So
I'm not the
he's been
biggest Skillion fan, but I like the price tag at 53.
yeah, he's just like your quintessential punt, kind of like
Yeah.
Corey LaJoy is. So he's like he and LaJoy are just like solid guys that show up with better equipment than the worst guys, and they're the best of the worst.
Right. Justin Haley is going to be another one of my favorite value plays down here at 6,100. I like him over Gillen and Burton, but I think I'll be playing all three. Your thoughts on Haley?
Yeah, I like him.
Okay. Blicky,
Fade
same. Cole Custer,
GPP like he
it did race
raced.
today,
Yeah,
so
and
it was a little
just
bit.
was. I think he finished like fourth or so. It was like
Yeah.
it wasn't like super like he didn't dominate the race like I thought he would, but he's not as good in this Cup car. And
Yeah.
Stuart Haas, like we said, is really struggling with speed other than Harvick. So
He had a terrible practice.
yeah, I'm not really interested. I mean, he could be a
I'm gonna
sleeper
play
here.
a little bit of him just
Yeah,
because of the starting
60.
spot,
Yeah,
but I'm not gonna go crazy. He's not gonna be a main value play for me. He's gonna be like 10 to 20% ownership in 150 max. JJ Yaley,
fade.
Eric Jones,
Love him here. Six
uh,
in speed, spun out in practice or
qualifying. I
in
thought,
qualifying.
yeah,
So again, he lost his crew chief, and they had that like unapproved whatever on the car. So is that going to take the speed away? I don't know, but he's been relatively fast and decent, and he's not a 34th place car. He doesn't belong
no,
here with the rest of them. So even if he makes it up to like 24th or 25th, he's going to pay off his 76.
yeah, he's a cash play for
Yeah.
sure. Got to play him. McLeod and Ware.
McLeod, no, where can't go anywhere but up
I don't
and
mind Ware. I'll actually
yeah,
have Ware in the pool.
yeah, top 25 in speed, so he's decent. So okay, we got 2.5 minutes, so let's wrap this up before we
Yep.
get kicked off.
Yep. And that'll wrap things up for the driver by driver breakdown. Megan, any final thoughts?
No, just be sure to check us out on our podcast now. We're simultaneously doing that on Apple and Spotify. If you can't watch us on YouTube, then you can listen to us while mowing the lawn or doing your laundry or
Yep, there
driving to
you go.
work or at the beach or wherever. So check us out there too.
Absolutely. That is on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. Awesome stuff. Mega well done this evening. Building lineups was actually relatively easy. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. About to log in and get myself some contests for DK tomorrow. If you can please like this video, comment below with any questions, comments, concerns that you may have. You can find us in our Discord chat through our Twitter handle at FSI_DFS or on our website, FSIDFS.com. Mega, good luck tomorrow at Pocono. Let's try to break even after a pretty abysmal Saturday. Let's see. Let's hope the Cup cars come through for us.
Yep.
All right, guys. Thank you for listening and have a good weekend.